You're looking at me and I know exactly what you're thinking. That's right, I can read your mind and know what you're thinking. I'm able to do this because I'm psychic and telepathic. And when you combine those two properties, that makes me psychopathic. You're looking at me and thinking, boy, are you old. And you'd be right. I am old. I'm so old, I remember when safe sex used to be in a padded headboard.
Oh.
I'm so old, I started watching porn recently. I don't watch it out of horniness though. I watch it to refresh my memory. If I don't, I might forget what to do or not be able to identify certain body parts should I ever come in contact with them again. But then again, to be perfectly honest with you, at my age, sex is not the highest item on my priority list. Pretty near the bottom. Somewhere between a bowl of oatmeal and a good crap. Both of which I enjoy tremendously. Look, we have to resign ourselves to getting old. The other day I looked at my wallet, I now keep Band-Aids, where I used to keep condoms. At my age, there's a greater possibility of getting cut than getting laid. I was watching the Olympics recently. I call them limp dicks because if you see the energy these guys put out, their dicks got to be limp for at least a week after they finish competing. And that goes for the ones on the women too. Oh. And you wonder, where do they get the women that interview these people? This woman just won a gold medal in swimming, and the interviewer asks her, what was your strategy for this race? To swim faster than everybody else, you stupid bitch. What do you think it was? To do dog paddle and wave at the crowd? I had several SBIs happen to me recently. Stupid bitch incidents. I was in the supermarket. A woman looks at me and says, are you dark from the sun? I said, no, I'm Simon from Tucson, you stupid bitch. I called up the store to find out what time they open. The woman says, you mean in the morning? No, during the vernal equinox, you stupid bitch. And finally, I'm standing on my front porch, hanging up a bird feeder. A woman comes by and says, you going to feed the birds? I said, no, I'm going to trap an elephant. Now be quiet or you'll scare them away. I don't know, I guess I'm getting less tolerant because of my age. And no way of getting away from it, I am old. I recently celebrated my 900th birthday. I'm giving my age in months because every time I ask parents of a tiny child how old it is, they give me its age in months. Well, if they can do it, so can I. And so you don't have to break your brains dividing 900 by 12, you're going to get 75. I became 75 in September. Oh, thank you. You're a great audience. You just applauded me for being alive. That doesn't take too much on my part. Waking up in the morning, getting out of bed, going to the bathroom, not always in that particular order, but at my age I can be choosy. Now, this chapter in my life was written over 40 years ago. A very good friend of mine had just gotten married, and over the years they'd invite me to their home every few weeks for dinner. On this one particular night, when his wife excused herself to do the dishes, and my friend had had 1, 2, or maybe 3 too many glasses of wine with his meal, he proved the Latin proverb, in vino veritas. That means in wine there is truth. He confessed to me that even after 10 years of marriage, his wife is still so shy, she undresses in the closet every night. 10 years of marriage and she still undresses in the closet. I couldn't bring myself to tell him I've been banging his wife in the closet for 10 years. After all, he was a good friend. A little while later, his wife comes back, joins us for some conversation, and my friend brings up the subject of how filthy, disgusting, and vile the English language has become, using that ugly F word to define something so beautiful like making love, or having relations, or being intimate. So I asked him, when a man and a woman are making love, is a penis inserted into a vagina, and does it move in and out? So absolutely. And when they're having relations too? Certainly. And even when they're being intimate? Of course. Well, then answer this question. How the fuck is that different from fucking? They were so shocked I could use not one form, but 2 forms of that word in the same sentence. They asked me to leave their home, and would never invite me back again. But actually, that turned into my favor, because after that night, his wife came to my closet. Now, wasn't that a beautiful story? I know, I cry myself to sleep with it almost every night. Now, the second I saw Obama's picture, I knew he'd be our next president. I knew this from a theory I formulated over 40 years ago. Simple theory, anybody can learn it in exactly 2 seconds. It only has 2 words, bigger dick. That's right, people vote for the candidate with the bigger dick. If you don't believe me, when they asked Hillary how she felt about losing, she said, missed it by that much.
Oh.
Should you need more proof? Let's go back to our previous president. You may not picture Bush as being built that way, but if you think for a second, he could not have fucked this country the way he did if he didn't have a bigger dick than any president in history. Should you need more proof? Let's go back to Kennedy and Clinton. They make no bones about the size of their bones. And then finally, didn't Teddy Roosevelt always say, speak softly and carry a big dick? Those were his actual words, but very few people know that. And now you know my bigger dick theory of politics. Use it in good health. Now, have you ever read in the newspaper, heard on the radio, or watched on TV a news item in which just one word or phrase might have been chosen differently? Here's what I mean. Police in Tucson have been looking for a gang of homosexual muggers for over 3 weeks. As of now, the search remains fruitless. In order to combat the widespread use of marijuana, New York and New Jersey are combining their resources to form a joint task force. Our roving reporter has just returned from San Francisco's Gay Film Festival. Here he is with a blow-by-blow description. And finally, passengers on a New York City subway train were harassed by a pervert who kept flashing and masturbating in front of them. This went on for over 30 minutes. They finally made him get off on 34th Street. Now, in Shakespeare's most famous play, Hamlet, he has a father giving advice to his son before leaving home. And to emphasize it, the father stresses the most important part. This, above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day, thou canst then not be false to any man. Notice he said man. The rest of the quote is, and as far as women go, if it's going to get you pussy, you can lie through your teeth to the bitches. Now, being fairly honest myself, you might have realized I don't start my routine the way a lot of other comics do, by saying, hi, how are you all doing? I couldn't give a rat's ass about how you're doing. I'm 100 times more concerned with how I'm doing. So the next time you hear a comic start a routine by saying, hi, how you all doing? You yell back, fuck you, just make us laugh. Having said that, what I'd like to say next is, hi, how you all doing?
Fuck you, just make us laugh.
Beautiful, fucking beautiful. And I was born on the New York Lower East Side. My mother was 47 years old when she had me. Can you imagine? 47 years old. I bet every vagina in the room just sucked in air and tightened up when they heard that. Especially the ones on the women. Now, in the Jewish religion, of which I happen to be a member, it's customary when a person dies to get him into the ground as soon as possible. At my age, I'm afraid to take a nap. That's it for me. Thank you. You should live and be well. Enjoy the rest of the show. I think it's over, actually.
Simon, is the end of the show.
Yes.
Thank you all very much for showing up for us today. We appreciate it. We're hoping to get another place to open up and do some comedy here in Tucson, and this would be a great atmosphere and a great place to do it. You've all been very receptive to us. If you have any questions, feel free to ask the guys who are here. Any comments, we'll take those too, positive or negative, that way we know who to avoid. I mean, what we can change in our acts. And those of you watching on the webcast, thank you very much for participating in that as well. The rest of you have a great day, and again, my name's Patrick Payton. You can reach me at Patrick Payton on Facebook. Check out my stuff on YouTube at Laughs Patrick, Laffs Patriq. And I hope you all enjoyed it. And come and see us out at Laughs at over on Broadway, and you can call for reservations at 32funny for the weekend shows. The open mic's always open. Show starts at 8 o'clock. Weekend shows, there's 2 on Friday and 2 on Saturday. Thank you all very much. Have a great day.